Hi there. For my culture presentation, I have chosen to share some primary aspects of Eastern Indian culture. I chose this primarily because I have a few friends that are from India, and from what I've learned from them, I really enjoy their culture and would like to learn more about their values and traditions. There's a few religions that I have, through my research, discovered are primarily make up Indian culture. Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and Sikhism are the primary religions. The two most dominant would be Hinduism and Islam. Hinduism is the majority of the followers and has a pretty significant impact on their culture. A Hinduism primary belief is based on daily life of being completely fulfilled within the religion. The focus on loving all, seeing that all living creatures are divine and deserve respect, and belief in karma and dharma help guide their individual choices through life. Within the family roles, male hierarchy is norm and typically falls in the hands of senior males. The respect is given to elders in the household based off of their wisdom, experience, and position. The average Indian family would be considered a joint extended family, and households are comprised of grandparents, their male children, and their spouses, and their children's children. Depending on the number of sons a couple is to marry off, an Indian household has can potentially be very large. When a woman is married, she marries into her husband's family, and this cycle continues from generation to generation. So this would be very different from the Western culture or American culture. Indian culture contains a variety of formalities that are in direct association with the culture's rich religion and traditions. Styles of communication throughout Indian culture are typically simple and meaningful. In contrast with Western cultures, India is typically a population that uses indirect communication. Instead of using direct and overpowering communication, Indians usually use metaphors, similes, and adjectives to convey their message. Indian culture contains a good deal of taboo gestures and manners. Touching another person's head is extremely insulting, for instance. This is because they see the head as the seat of the soul. And as equally as that insulting would be to show one's feet to another or to wear your shoes inside. The feet are seen as unclean in the Indian culture, as well as the left hand. If you were to be dining with an Indian culture or within a household of Indian culture, eating with your left hand, again, similar to the feet, is seen as unclean, and it is very offensive to eat with your left hand. Beyond that, I've chosen to make curried lentil soup, and it's also called dal, which is a traditional Indian dish, and it's made from lentils, water, oil, some kind of oil, usually canola oil, garlic, onions, chilies, turmeric, ginger, curry, sometimes coconut milk. It just adds richness to the dish, and I make this a lot, actually. It's a very simple vegetarian dish. The dish is very nutty and rich in flavor and has a warm and comforting sense about it. Lentils are a legume in the legume family and are very high in protein, dietary fiber, and essential nutrients. Curry is actually not a spice, I've recently discovered, and it doesn't come from a single plant. It is actually a composition of various spices that make up the flavor. Because of this, there are many different varieties of curry powder, which we use in the Western culture. In Indian culture, curry powder is not typically used, but rather a mixture of the spices and herbs that create the flavor. Most commonly used to create curry is cinnamon, cloves, coriander, cumin, fennel, seek, mace, nutmeg, poppy seed, and tamarind and turmeric. Tamarind and turmeric actually give it the really rich yellow color. This dish is usually paired with rice or naan bread, vegetables, or chicken. Excuse me. So today I made up the lentil soup, and again I make this a lot. It's a really great fall dish if you're interested in making it. Super simple, very inexpensive, which again I think is a reason why some cultures in India that are not as privy to having the resources that we do in the Western culture. They typically use grains and legumes and such for their daily food. So here is an example of my dish. This is the result. It's a pretty thick soup, but it's very filling. So here are the red lentils. I bought these at Whole Foods, or you can find them in other stores as well. So just dry red lentils are the best to use in the soup. It gives a really great color. I did not use canola oil, but I used olive oil. I did in fact add coconut milk to my dish. It just again creates a really warm richness to the soup. I did in fact use curry powder just because it's easier to just use the curry powder that's in the Western culture we typically use instead of creating my own curry. Along with that, I've added coriander and turmeric, and there is a seasoning that you can get at different stores. It's garam masala, and this is just a variety of coriander, fennel seeds, cumin, black pepper, and cloves, as well as cinnamon. So it again adds that really rich, warm flavor. If you'd like to try this recipe, there's plenty on the internet that you can find. It's again super simple and delicious. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.